thus we'll give respect again to our esteemed Sir Taurin Sharma from the International Affairs. I would like to take this instant time to introduce our guest. Dr. Kebuya Nathaniel is the founder and managing director of Higher Institution for Professionalism and Excellence Hiptex Yaoundé, with branches in Gorée, Botel, Kumba, and Ebola. Dr. Kebuya holds a great position in the academic milieu. He has been an examiner for the Higher National Diploma exams for 5 years. Also, he was part of the decision board in designing the Higher National Diploma programs for education. Dr. Kebuya is an academic traveler who has presented Hiptex universities in many countries. That's why we're with you here today. Dr. Kebuya has served as an administrator discipline master in GBHS NOP and GBHS Downtown Bamenda for 7 years. He was an instructor, teacher, trainer at Capeit Program Nacho Technical Teachers Training College for 3 years. He has dedicated the main years of life as a lecturer in Higher Institution of Professionalism and Excellence Hiptex. Dr. Kebuya is a writer and a researcher who has presented many papers in seminars and conferences across different universities. And he has published numerous articles in various reputed international journals. I will take this instant time to welcome Dr. Kebuya on the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow students, lecturers, and tutors in your different ranks, I greet you all. The presentation gives me an honor and more energy to be able to present in a way that can be much more pleasant. I was just wondering how I will sit here and present a lesson to psychology students, because a psychologist is an individual who interacts. A psychologist is an individual who tries to understand and get to the same dimension and the same mindset of those he or she is interacting with. As you've just heard, I hold a PhD in industrial psychology from the University of Bamenda. It is another opportunity for me to be here on an international base to present a lesson which is titled Personality Development and Individual Differences. You know, as a teacher, what makes you to succeed in life is to be able to diagnose and understand the differences in your learners. Is to be able to understand that student A is different from student B. It is only when you understand the differences that do exist before you can have what we call a basement. That is a flat surface where you can be able to put everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get the first slide? So before we go to the first slide, personality development and individual differences. We'll talk about the personality development, that is, their changes. When this person is 5 years old, when you are 10 years old, when you are 20 years old, how do you behave with somebody at the age of 5, at the age of 10, at the age of 15, and at the age of 20? As psychologists, everybody in the society depends on you. Those in the engineering department, those in the fashion clothing department, those in the tourism and hotel management, those in the business department, they depend on you, because everybody in your different departments, they are dealing with human beings. And you, as a psychologist and an expert, you are the one who is able to manage the human beings. So if somebody is in the business department, if somebody is in the engineering department or whatever department, that person is not dealing with animals. Even if he is dealing with animals, he needs to understand that animals are different. And their aggressive nature to the different human beings will be different. As well as, we're talking about the development, you need to understand, as the animals are in different ages and stages, their aggressive tendencies will also be different. All right, let's begin with the introduction and definition. Personality development. We are saying that it is that process. It is that process in which an individual, you try to manage thoughts and behaviors. That is the thinking capacity, the behavior that is being portrayed by person A and person B. What makes Kebuya different from Shaman? The way I will react to something and the way he will react to something determines our personality. And so, when we talk about personality, it makes us to be unique, distinct. That is, A and B cannot be the same. And that's why we say many factors they influence personality, specifically the gene, the environment, and how we are parented. We are saying here that because this is your mother, it will influence your personality from the fact that this is your mother. That's what we talk about parenting. There are some families that allow students or allow children to be exposed. Extroverts who go outside. Extroverted individuals. There are some families that allow their children just to be inside. Introverts that are introverted. And so because of those things, the way their personalities automatically becomes different. Then the environment where you grew up. And the environment, now we have the external environment and the internal environment. Those different components, the peer group, your exposure to social media, and so on and so forth. And then the components of genetic, the gene, which comes from inside. I was just telling the Director for External Affairs that for me to come and stay in India for this number of days without having a woman is very bad. They would have at least directed me so that when I come here, I go and meet the chief, the big man, so that I can give me a woman, so that I'll have an Indian woman. So if I leave Cameroon, I come to India, I get married to a woman, the genes, those genotypes, it can determine. And that is why, because I am black, and if I get a woman who is light, the two of us, we might have a child who is either black or who is either fair in complexion, determining the gene that will override. All right. I talked about the wife. Some people did not understand. Did you people understand what I mean? It means that I will go and come back and be staying here and when I will get married. All right. So the definition continues. So personality brings about changes in what? In attitude. It brings about changes in behavior. And it brings about changes in the thought. That is the way you reason. What distinguishes person A are these aspects: attitude, behaviors, thought patterns. The thought patterns here, we're talking about how you respond to certain new things, something that I've just told you about. How do you respond to it? Those are aspects or components of personality. And these responses goes about with the people you interact with. And that's why I was saying that psychologists are the highest people, because you deal with human beings. The laboratory of every psychologist is the society where people are found. That is our own laboratory. But you see, the laboratory of fashion, clothing, and textile, they go and are working with machines. Maybe for engineering, maybe for robotics. You see them, they're working with machines. But for us, the psychologists, we work with the mind. And the mind determines the behavior. All right, we have different types of personalities. You know, the lesson is just global. We're just touching some key things. We have the physical aspects, the social aspects, the emotional aspect, and the intellectual aspect. The physical aspect, it determines your color and everything. The social aspect, I talked something about being introvert and extrovert. Somebody who is social inclined is extrovert. Somebody who is not social inclined is an introvert. And then the emotions, how you manage your emotions. We have how somebody will just react to something, how somebody, your sex perspectives are also aspects that are related to emotions. Then the intellectual. You know, in school, we used to do what we call grading. We grade first, second, third, fourth. It determines, it is as a result of somebody's intellectual capacity. So all of those things are determined. And all of this, it brings about what we call wellness, well-rounded individual. So your physical, social, emotional, intellectual, it brings about well-rounded individual. If you are not physically stable, if you are not emotionally fit, if you are not socially fit, and if you are not intellectually fit, then there is a problem about your wellness. You used to hear somebody who say, "You idiot." Why do you call somebody idiot? Because the IQ, what we call intelligent quotient, has a problem. You know, the mind has different intelligent quotient, and that's why we have supernatural children. Children who are very excellent. You just want to ask them something, they have given you the response. We have subnormal. We have, you know, the IQ is determined according to levels. Idiots, fools, morons, and so on and so forth. So these different components of your IQ, it determines your wholeness. All right, some tips. What are some of the tips for personality development? Well, we'll talk about the tips here. What are some of those things that we can do to determine or to improve somebody's personality? I was teaching yesterday in the other campus, and that was not on psychology. That was on education. They were the education students. How education students are supposed to behave. And I said, as a teacher, people look at you because psychology and education, they are the same things, because their laboratory deals with human beings. And I was saying that everybody depends on you. If you make a mistake, they copy from you. So what are some of the tips? What are some of the things that we can do to build our personality so that when somebody sees you, the psychologist, they will understand that your personality has increased. So the first one is to identify your values. You must be able to understand your core values. When we talk about the core values, there are those distinctive things in you. If you cannot identify your values, then no other person can identify your value. So one of the first ways, one of the first tips, one of the first ways for personality development is to understand the values that you have. What can I give? What can I not give? Where can I stand and talk? Where can I not stand and talk? And they say, you can therefore do this by thinking of various important values that you have in you. Because once you know your values, you know the things that you cannot do, you can build it. You can build it to be nice. So from there, it builds your personality. Then you must set daily personal development goals. I was looking for a video to play in this lesson, but unfortunately I was caught up by time. Goals are those components, are those things that you set, just like objectives, that you set from the beginning of everything so that you can attain at the end. You are from which country? The lady with Rasta. Yes? Yes, you. This girl. Yes? Zimbabwe. You are from where? Zimbabwe. Okay. I want to use an example to talk about setting of goals. You've been here for how long?
This is my second semester.
Okay, second semester. This means you are getting to your, okay, this is the first year completely, academic year. And you expect to do your program for 3 years or 4? 4 years. Okay. Before she left Zimbabwe and came, she has set a goal that after 4 years, I am leaving India or I am leaving City University. If you don't set those goals so as to achieve them, then there will be a problem. So that's why I was saying that you must commit in doing the listing every day. Her goal is to have her bachelor's degree in 4 years. And so if she does not do the things on daily basis, if she does not work, if she does not read, she cannot be able to succeed. So before we will see her personality at that level of 4 years, it means that she must have been able to set her daily goals. We are just looking at daily goals because it is from the daily goals that you are able to have the monthly goals, the yearly goals, etc., etc., and life goals. Are you, my dear? What's your name? With glasses, yes. Pardon? Okay, Gulsum. Okay. When do you like to get married?
Sorry?
When will you like to get married? How many years from now?
So probably 6 to 7 years.
Okay, 6 to 7 years. Okay, good. That is a goal. Those are some goals she has in her mind. The condition for her to probably get married and to get married to a responsible person, she must set some goals now. If she does not set the goals now, the daily goals now, it means that in 6 years, she will still be the same like she is now. So in order for her to attain those goals and improve her personality to the level that it can give her good life marriage, she must set goals. Then the next is you must keep a positive mindset. When we talk about the positive mindset here, you must embrace challenges. You must learn from failure. You must see setbacks as opportunities for growth. Before you develop to be who you are, you must be able to face challenges. And when you face challenges, you should like the challenges. You should embrace it. If you don't embrace it and you take it as a problem, that is a problem for life. You must learn from those failures that came. What can I do to avoid this failure? That is what we mean, learn from the failures. And then you must see setbacks as opportunities for growth. So meaning that if you have a problem, see it as an opportunity that you can correct it and you grow. All right. The next is you must be confident. You must be confident. I've always told my students, especially teachers, I'm a teacher trainer. I tell the teachers that at times when you are teaching, even if you are teaching what is not correct, teach it with confidence and the children will like it. Because when you are doubting yourself, as a psychologist, that's why they say we read the mind. Your work is to read the mind. Once I am teaching and I look at my students, I already understand maybe they are very tired, maybe they are hungry, maybe the lesson is not interactive, there is a problem. And so if to be able to develop your personality that people will like you, it will bring your personality traits to a level. You must be able to be confident. When you have something about yourself you would like to change, and so it is easier for you to perceive imperfection and reduce confidence. So at times we are saying that if you see that you are imperfect in whatever you are doing, automatically what you're doing will not be successful. So don't look at yourself that, no, what can I do? What can I do? The teacher will say, you will get up and answer a question. You say, me, I cannot do. You have already brought down your personality. And so everybody around starts looking you as somebody who has not reached maybe the level of being in level 1 or in level 2 in psychology or in level 3. Then we must have you identify your current trends. That is self-awareness and basic understanding. She's at the age of 20 years and she expects to get married at the age of 27 years. Self-awareness. You must know yourself. At this age now, what is expected of me? I used to tell people that this behavior is not expected from you. Because once you pass a level of growth and development, there are certain things that are not supposed to see. So one of the tips to build your personality is to identify your traits. We'll talk about traits. Those are individual characteristics that are in you that is not in him. A trait is what disposes somebody to behave in a particular way, different from another. So we have individual traits. Those individual traits leads us to our behavior. All right. So you must be able to also understand basic personality traits. That is goals of personality development. The different theories that brings about uniqueness. We'll talk about the uniqueness here that makes you different, just as I was saying. So the basic personality traits of every individual are those, those individual unique characteristics. All right, that is that for some tips. Personality traits fall under 5 basic categories. Let's try to categorize personality traits. The first category is openness. This is according to one of the theories. Openness. That is the level of creativeness and responsiveness to change. This category of openness holds that before, in fact, what determines you different from another is how open you are, either to the people around you, either to your classmates, either to your community, or in fact, wherever you are. That is the first category of personality. Remember, we said personality is how to interact, how to socialize. In fact, what distinguishes you, what makes you so open to others, that people can be able to quote you. Then we have the second category, conscientiousness. That's level of organization and attention to detail. Conscientiousness, how you can be able to focus. That's another category. There are some people who can really, they talk, they are able to socialize, interact with people, but they are very scattered. They are not conscious to details. You keep things here, after 5 days, you say, give me this file. There is no file again. You want to see they have mixed this. They are not able to, that is another group of persons. They are not able to, this conscientious, that is these people who are not really focused to details. They are not able, people who fall in this category that they are not conscientious, they cannot be good secretaries. They cannot be good secretaries. Then the next is extraversion. That is socialness and emotional expressiveness. This category is the category that in fact, there are a group of persons that they are so social inclined. Just like openness. Openness, you are just being, you can be able to actually create, distinguish something. But extraversion, you are just being, in fact, people know you like, we call, you are not a social misfit. Social misfit means that you cannot fit somewhere amongst others. But this category, extraversion, you are the opposite of a social misfit. Means that you can actually socialize well. Once there is anything, they can easily come and take you to go and solve it. That is the third category. Then, agreeableness. That's interest in others and cooperativeness. Remember, we're talking about personality traits. Somebody who is always in the house, who does not interact with people, you have an introverted personality trait. So one of the categories, agreeableness, that is, you see this category of people are people who are so interested in others. If he sits there and something happens to him, those who, the agreeable group of individuals, they would like to run. They will ask, what is your problem? What is happening? But those who do not fall in this category, whatever is happening to you, they don't care. You just be there. This group of people are those who, when they hear that something has happened to somebody, take for example, somebody might have an accident here. This group of persons who fall in this category, they will every day, maybe before they come to school, they will go to that person's house. They like to, in fact, fit into the shoes of that person. And then the last one is neurocentrism. That is level of emotional stability and moodiness. We are psychology students and we are at the level of the university. So sex education is permitted without any problem. There are some individuals that, some men, that if a woman is naked in front of her, in front of him, the person cannot withstand himself again. Are we together? Hello? When I say hello, you say hi. Hello? Hi. Hello? Hi. Hi. Hello. Okay, that's good. Can we stand up? Let's stand. Stand up. Let's sing a song. When I say sit, stand, is that right? Sit, stand, sit. Sit, stand, all together. Sit again. Sit, stand. Why are you not sitting? Sit, stand, all together. Sit, stand again. And this is the way we exercise our body every day. Sit, stand. Why are you not sitting? Sit, stand, all together. Sit, stand again. And this is the way we exercise our body every day. Okay, sit down. Sit down. All right. So this is This is a summary. This is a summary of how to develop your personality. So in order to develop your personality, this is personality development at the middle. This is personality development. You must have goals. What brought me here today? Why am I here? You must have goals. You must have goals. If you don't have goals, long-term, short-term, or whatever goals, you are finished. This is how to develop your personality. The second one is motivation. You must be motivated. Whatever you are doing, you should have some intrinsic and extrinsic component that is motivating you. You must have vision. Where will I be in 2 years? Where will I be in 3 years, in 4 years? She'll be getting married in 6 years. You invite me, eh?
Sure, sir.
Yes, you invite me. I'll pay my flight and come.
Especially send an invitation.
Pardon?
I especially send an invitation.
All right, thank you, thank you. So, Shama, you take note. All right, so you must plan. You must plan. The lady who is from Zimbabwe, the parents already know that every year maybe I will pay 1 million, I will pay 2 million. You must plan to succeed to develop your personality. If you don't plan, you are finished. Then, you must learn. Learning. You must learn. As I said, I was looking for a video to play here. Unfortunately, I was caught up by time. Everybody in class like this, you are not the same. There are some people who come here to discourage others. Not anybody who comes to school wants to learn. Take note. There are some people who come to school like this because they know that they are already very dull, that they will fail. So when they come to school, they would like to say that I will not fail alone. So they will hold the hand of another person. So that when there is problem, tomorrow they say, who had 8 average? You say, I had 8 average, but I was not the only one. So you must develop, you must learn to build your personality. Then we have training. Training and development will go the same. You must train and you must develop. What new are you bringing? The lady from Zimbabwe, are you selling anything? Do you sell anything on campus?
No.
Good. I don't know whether they permit students to sell something. Yes, you should be creative. You should not just come and sit. Because the students around India, they are looking at you that there is something new. What have you tried to produce here that they should try to love and promote it? So your personality can only be developed when you train and you develop in whatever. And then most especially creative. The three of them fall almost at the same place. You must be creative. During socials, I hope you people, the international students, you people present. Do you people always go and dance? You should bring this new, you must be creative. You must, to develop your personality, you must be creative. The students who are there, how do you dress? How is your hairstyle? You should, like psychologists, that people develop a high level of personality from you. You must be creative. We say in psychology, think out of the box. Because you are like the person controlling all the students, because you read the minds of the students. Psychologists, this is their laboratory. They are looking. So once you are looking at others and you are trying to read their minds, you should try to develop your mind to be creative. Add something new. We have seen suggestion boxes. Go to the suggestion box, write some suggestions, write your name, write your phone number, put it there. The proprietor of City University, the director, the rector of City University will see it and call for you and say, yes, you wrote something that is important. How do you think that we can do it? Maybe from that their idea, they can give you scholarship for free. So you should be creative. You should learn and bring something new to be able to develop and grow your personality. All right, we are coming to the second section, which is individual differences. Individual differences refers to characteristics that distinguishes one organism from another and that are stable over time. We're talking about stable over time here. It includes aspects of cognition, affection, behavior, genetic traits. This is according to Cohen 1997. Just as I said, what distinguishes, what makes you different from another is what we call personality traits. But what you need to take note of is that this personality trait, it goes across different situations. So you underline this. It's stable over time and across different situations. We are not saying that because you are like this in every situation, this is how you are supposed to interact. No, that is not what we mean. So individual differences are more or less enduring psychological characteristics that distinguishes one person. And the most difference is personality traits. So we have said all of these individual differences comes as a result of personality traits. We said personality traits are those things that are in somebody that makes you different from another person. Personality traits. So individual differences comes as a result of personality traits. So what are some of the individual differences? As a psychologist, how can you manage individual differences within a team? That is a group of persons, within your classmates, within a football team, within your friends, within a particular team. How do you manage individual differences? So we say generally differences come when maybe amongst managers, amongst leaders, and amongst team members in a workplace, school, or other areas. Have students here ever argued? Have people ever argued? Yes. Good. Why do you argue? Because the way person A is thinking is not the same way person B is thinking. Differences, that is individuals, they disagree. They approach things contrasting ways. They approach things in a different way. I see it like this. You see it like this. Another person sees it like this. That's individual differences. So they have contradictory ideas. They have differences in their views. I want to get married to 2 women. Another person wants to get married to 1 woman. Their views are not the same. A teacher says that we should do this. I say 1 plus 1 is 2. Another person says 1 plus 1 is 1. So, because of those disagreements, it brings about differences. And so our place, what is important for us as psychologists, is how to manage these differences from this disagreement. So examples of differences you would like to encounter or that you will encounter. So as psychologists, as individuals, as those who are growing in life, you will meet differences, incompatible communication styles. The way somebody talks is not the same way you talk. And because the way somebody talks is not the way you talk, it's a problem. I came last time when we were dealing with Shaman, and I was wondering, are we going to go? How do? So, because somebody said, and I'm talking now, how are you? It's a problem. That is already a conflict. If I talk once, twice, thrice, you don't understand, I become angry. Are we there? That is just it. So the way people communicate, it brings about conflict or it brings about differences. So that is an example of it. And then personality clashes. I like this, you don't like this. This one likes this, this other person does not like this. They may say that our class was supposed to be at 2 p.m. Another one says it should be at 1. Another one says it should be at this. Those are personality clashes. They don't want this, this other person wants this. So you can see it. That is an example that you see. Inability to see others' perspective. We are treating this and at the same time seeing how to manage personality. So due to inability, how can we solve the problem of inability to see others' perspective? As psychologists, how can you solve this to be able to manage personality? We have said these are problems. So how can we manage incompatibility in others' perspective? Can somebody try? As a psychologist, in order not to have conflict, when we talk about inability in others' perspective, what should you do to avoid conflict? What should you do to avoid problems? Nobody? Yes?
I think to be more empathetic so you can feel what the other person is going through and what the other person's perspective is.
Can you put clap for her? You should be empathetic. That is, you should fit yourself in that person's shoe so that you can accept her perspective. So we say one of the problems of that brings about individual differences is inability to see others' perspective. So to solve this problem, put yourself in the person's shoe. Are we there? That's very good. I will come for that at your wedding. All right. We have another problem here, differing work ethics. Differing work ethics. In this organization, in city, maybe they say that you don't wear slippers and come to school. That is an ethics of city students. That is, ethics are principles, are rules and regulations that governs an organization. So because of differing or because of issues in work ethics, it brings about individual differences. Some laws do not permit something, and because of that it brings about conflict or differences. Then personal disagreements. Personal disagreement. Somebody can just get up and just become angry. Is there any student who is married? Who is married? Is there any student? Okay. I wanted to use an example to have this personal disagreement in the house. Okay, let me use the example of children, of all of you people in the house. Maybe your mother wants to prepare. What's that our common food we have been eating? No, I wanted the local name.
Anything you could mention. Let's say the cottage cheese.
Okay, let's say rice. Let me use rice. I wanted to use but the name here in India. Chapati. Good, chapati. Okay, good. They may want to cook chapati. They may want to cook chapati in the house. Another person says they should cook but rice. Are we together? So because you people are 5 of you, another person says chapati, another person says rice, it brings about personal disagreement. And because of personal disagreement, it brings about individual differences and brings about conflict. So still to solve it, we must be able to accept those individual differences, like what she is saying or what she said. Then internal hierarchy. In your house, maybe we have the first, the second, the third, the fourth. But your mother may get up and say the third should control the house when she is not there. That is what we talk about internal hierarchy. Internal hierarchy. Even in this school, we have the registrar, the rector, the director, the deans, and so on. Because that is the policy says when the dean is passing, you must stand. Those are internal issues that will bring about internal hierarchy. So because of internal hierarchy, it brings about differences. And it takes us to conflict and tension. Because of all of this, we always have conflict and tension. There are generally some individuals that they are always tense. They don't smile all the time. All the time. It brings about differences. Then we have lack of effective communication. Once people don't communicate well, the information will not flow. And once the information does not flow, I don't understand. And because I don't understand, there is a problem. I will interpret the information differently. Once I interpret the information differently, you that I'm communicating to, since you have not understood, you will act or you will behave differently. It brings about those. And then we have opposing approaches to work. Opposing. The way you are looking at it is not the same way I'm looking at it. All right, so looking at the examples, it is easy to picture how individual differences rise and it can cause issues at workplace. So the key to overcome this, you should be able to see each other's point of view. Very important, take note, just like what she said. We must be able to see each other's point of view that may be making certain decisions. If you don't see each other's point of view, it becomes a problem. So the key importance in managing individual differences is seeing each other's point of view. And then this opens doors for better collaboration and being combined with their strengths and abilities. So once you see other people's points of view, then you should be able to combine their strengths and abilities. Strengths and abilities says that where they are good at, you encourage it. How to manage individual differences? The first one, give everybody the chance to contribute. Once people do not have chances to contribute in an organization, it becomes a problem. But once everybody can say that, they say, okay, you talk, you talk, you talk, it reduces that conflict. Because the tendency will be that the decision was taken by all of us. And if the decision was taken by all of us, there will be no issue. And then you should also communicate information effectively. Just as we said that one of the problems of individual differences is poor communication. To solve it, we must be able to communicate information effectively. Because poor communication leads to poor reception of the information, and it brings about poor action to it. Then we have established common goals to work towards it. We started by talking about goals. Once you set those goals, you work towards those goals, you will reduce the individual differences or issues at the workplace. And it makes you, in fact, if everybody is in this class and our idea is to succeed, then we have what we call group goals. And everybody works towards it. So it makes everybody now to belong. It makes everybody to feel involved. Then get to know each other and yourselves better. What do you like? What do you not like? If I talk to this person this way, he becomes angry. If I eat this thing beside this person, he will not like it. So you should know yourself and know the people around you. So in conclusion, or to round up, as psychologists that you are, we need to read the minds of others. The conclusion of our lesson of today is that learn how to read the minds of others. When you want to do something, you should already think, look at the person. What is he thinking? Once you read the minds of others, once you understand them, once you give them the pride of place, giving them the pride of place means that allow them to feel that they are participating. You should also accept who they are and bring about wellness in the group. So if you accept each other, you are white, I am black, we are fine. So we must read the minds of people. You should understand them. You should give a pride of place to them, and it will bring about wellness in the group. Thank you for your keen attention. Let's get some contributions at this time. Do we have any question? Do we have any contribution? Do we have something to add? Or something to reduce? Another person should talk. What do you have to add? Yes, the lady at the last.
Question, we have a question?
Yes. Yes.
Sir, actually I want to add nothing. I'm a faculty member here. I want to ask just one thing. Your lecture was very informative and very good for our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question, students.
Okay, this is another question. This is my honorable person who invite me.
So firstly, I would like to thank you for such insightful session. And my question to you is, as you talked about the dressing sense of a psychologist, so what would you suggest how a psychologist should dress to the appropriate level that a person senses that this person is very, understanding and very empathetic or such qualities which a psychologist should have?
Thank you very much. I'll invite you in Cameroon when you will be married. we say organizational dressing. Every organization has its code of ethics of how to dress. Here, there are certain dressing styles that will be permitted. If you go somewhere else, the dressing styles are not permitted. If you are a musician, you dress, sir, just stand up. If you are a musician and you dress like him, a scattered musician, you dress like him, they will not accept you. But if you are a musician, you tear your trouser here, you tear it there, people become focused on you, right? Because your idea is to get the attention of your audience, is to make that your idea is to sell your business. So the ethics of that business says that you should dress that way. I don't know whether prostitution is allowed here in India, but if you go to a country where prostitution is allowed, you see a woman who dress and open the breast. Are we together? Yes. That is the ethics. Once you see her, it will tell you something. But ethically and logically, dressing permits that you dress modestly so that you feel self-contented. If you dress and you're not self-contented, there is a problem. At times in our country, you see somebody who dress, you are moving and you see somebody is making like this. And I'll ask, why did you wear the dress? Because if you wear something that you are not comfortable, it means that there is a problem. So your dressing should be comfortable and should give you an intrinsic sense. If your dressing does not give you an intrinsic sense, then there is a problem. As I was saying, they will carry me tomorrow so that they will go and tie this thing on my head. How do they call it? Turban. Yes, they will go and tie it on my head. If I tie it on my head and I am not comfortable, it means that somebody will see me that something is wrong. This is the dressing style here. If I take it to Cameroon, it will be very new. Maybe people will start looking at me a type. But here it is accepted. It is. Are we there? That is just it. So your dressing should fit your environment. your comfort zone. Any other question?
Questions, guys? Questions?
All right, let's all stand. Let's stand. Okay, let's have our song again. Sit, stand, all together. Let's go. Sit, stand, all together. Sit, stand again. And this is the way we exercise our body every day. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So the question is, you talked about the introverts to children raised and extrovert. So let's say one's behavior have been affected by an introvert family. Remember, our behaviors or the way we behave, it is shaped from the environment where we grew up in. So you find like a child was raised in an introvert family where he doesn't go like outside. So the behavior of that child is now like negative. It's not accepted to the society. How can he manage like to recover from such behavior? Because he was raised in such a family and they've coped that behavior. How can he change?
All right, thank you very much. I said something here about how to improve your personality. But your domain is because somebody is already introverted from when he grew up.
Yes.
The first thing in education or in psychology is counseling. The first therapy I will recommend as a psychologist is that the person should meet a counselor. Because it is only from counseling that that person can be able to understand his dimensions, where he is. But apart from that, generally speaking, the individual should learn how to associate. Learn how to associate. Because it is only when you associate with person A, person B, person C before you can, start going out. The second aspect is that learn how to visit or learn how to assist. If something is happening to somebody and you go there, you learn other things. You learn other things. Because when you go, when you associate, what happens? There's a tendency that you would like to talk, you would like to listen, you would like to see. Once you see, you talk, you start going closer, you start going outside. The third way to be able to improve, you should be able to learn how to what we call public speaking. Involve more in public speaking. Because once you speak publicly, automatically, many people will see you and come closer to you. And as they come closer to you, you will express, as you are talking to them, the introverted tendency starts going out. And then you become now an extroverted person. So those are the key things. But we have other what we call in psychology, therapeutic approaches. Different therapies that can be used. Because, being from an introverted background, there might be certain issues that led to that introverted nature. We have different psychological issues, and each psychological issues goes with a particular therapy. I happen to do bachelor's in guidance and counseling. So I also assist those with issues, disability, traumatic experience, and so on and so forth. All of those things have different therapeutic approaches they use. It's just like if you are suffering from malaria, there is a medicine for malaria. If you're suffering from headache, there's a medicine for headache. So if you are suffering from an introverted aspect that maybe is due to trauma, is due to something, the way it is treated. But if it is on generalities, the best thing you do is that you should learn how to associate. You should learn how to interact. You should learn how to talk amongst people. You should avoid sitting alone. Go out, always go out, meet people, make friends. That's the best way on how to be able to solve that aspect. Does it make sense? Another question?
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. So, say, on interaction, if, let's say, I want to fit in a certain environment where I know, like, there are people who have good mindset and who have good traits, and my traits are negative. So, how do I make myself to fit in such environment? Because it's very rare for them to accept me because they know my personality. So, how do I fit myself in such an environment?
We are still talking about generalities. I like when I teach and many questions come. If I taught here and everybody was just, then it means that I left Cameroon and came here for nothing. But I'm sure by the end of today, somebody will be able to go out and interact as far as personality is concerned. One of the first issue I will tell you that fit with people within your context. When we say interact, it's not that you should just come and see your teachers good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. No, that's not what we mean. The first thing is, in psychology, we talk about the mindset tendency. And that's why I said you need to see a counselor, because the counselor is supposed to give you a mindset. Give you a mindset. So if you know that these are people within my level, these are people who already know me, and they can accept me and integrate me for whom I am, then I can move closer to them. And so one of the other issues is that avoid negative mindset. We said something here about mindset in order to build your personality. If you are not confident, so you need to, I was saying that you need to meet a counselor, because a counselor is supposed to develop a confident perspectives in you. So because you know that you are already, why do you go for a solution? Because you have identified an illness. So if you have identified an illness in you, which is the introverted aspect, you should learn how to accept criticisms. We said something about criticisms. If somebody criticizes you, you should understand that no, it's because the person maybe already knew that this is it, but because you want to solve this, are we together? Then you should be able. One of the issues next time I'll come is that after the lesson, but I already said it that we should contribute and we should, discuss. You also need to give some of the shortcomings. Maybe I was over talking. Maybe I was too fast. Maybe I used high grammar. Maybe my language was not flowing the way you wanted. Maybe I pronounced certain things that were not correct. Those are shortcomings that you have identified. I should not take it as a weakness, because maybe I have presented a paper in Germany, I've gone to Ghana, presented a paper, I've gone to Uganda, presented a paper. And so if I come to India and present another one, it must be correct. No. So you as the individual, you should learn how to accept criticisms. Know that if they criticize me, I should take it as a stepping stone. Even if I'm doing with these friends, they say, this, I should continue doing it. If you tell me about my shortcomings of this, my presentation, I will use it as an opportunity to improve. So once your friends are relegating themselves, I listed so many. If you think that you are interacting with your friends and they are ignoring you, then use the other one of public speaking. Once you do public speaking now, some people will hear, some people will like it, and some people may come towards you to act. Has it made some sense?
Answered.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Any other question? All right. Thank you, people, so kind.
What an incredible lesson that our minds. It was very, very, very nice. Let's give a round of applause again for our guest. Let's give a round of applause for our guest all the way from Cameroon to unlock our mind. Now we will request Tanya, our esteemed sister, to give us a vote of thanks. Tanya, you're welcome on the stage.
On behalf of City University, Louisiana, It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks at the conclusion of this enlightening expert talk on turn the challenges into opportunities. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Kebuya Nathaniel, Managing Director of Hiptex University Institute, Yaoundé, Cameroon. Your thought-provoking insights and inspiring perspectives has truly encouraged us to view challenges as stepping stones to success. We're immensely grateful for the time and effort you invested in sharing your wisdom with us. I would also like to thank Mr. Christian, MD of Fibmat University Institute, Cameroon. Thank you for coming, sir. I extend my sincere thanks to our Honorable Chancellor, sir, and Vice Chancellor, sir, for the visionary leadership and unwavering support which make us such events possible. A special note of appreciation goes to our head of school, Dr. Shavayat Hussein, for his guidance and encouragement in organizing this impactful session. I also take this opportunity to thank the faculty members and students of the School of Arts, Science, Humanities, and Physical Education for their active participation and collaborative efforts in ensuring the success of this event. Finally, heartfelt thanks to all attendees for making this session engaging and memorable. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for our sister. It was such an incredible vote of thanks. Incredible vote of thanks. I would like to take this time again to appreciate all faculty members as well as our guests for showing up at this point. You really unlocked our mind. It was such a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious event. We expect you next time again to come and to be with us. It was very, very nice. And we also give thanks to our teachers for organizing such a nice event for us. We really enjoyed and we got knowledge from it. Thank you.